Before I get started in today's video, I just wanted to say shout out to the community. Shout out to the MTRs, the ladies that are down up into the community. There's many of you, all right? Shout out to the MT Army, my guys, my G's, my hustlers, constantly exceeding expectations. I appreciate you guys so much. You have been hitting me up nonstop in regards to everything that's been going on. In regards to the Pop the Balloon, this copyright claim thing, and what has recently hit my desk. I have seen it and I'm going to address it in this video right here. But I just wanted to start out the video and just say thank you. To create a community as strong as the community that I have created over the past 5 years and to have you guys still riding for me each and every day means the absolute world to me. Now, before I give you guys my thoughts on the whole situation, I also want to address the other elephant in the room. New studio, baby. What's up? Yeah, we are absolutely getting popping. And truth be told, I didn't think I'd be unveiling this studio this quickly, but I thought to myself, hey, listen, ain't nothing ever going to be perfect. We have to build the plane as we fly it. So everything is not 100% set up in here, but I at least wanted to show it to you as well as hello. Oh, yeah, we got camera 2 over there as well. I like camera 2 so much. This is the cinematic view. This might be the reaction view. And then this is going to be, how it is that we will commune normally. Now, let's get directly into the content now that the elephants in the room have been addressed. Now, some of you guys have come up to this video. You're like, what is MTR talking about? What is going on? You have probably also seen my last video that I did talking about the Pop the Balloon content claim situation. All right. I uploaded this video. I want to say it was about 2 or so weeks ago. What happened within that video? Well, I let everybody know that there is this automated message that is coming through on behalf of a management company by the name of Future Limited, on behalf of Arletta Mooley, which is the YouTube channel that we react to for Pop the Balloon. But we were getting these automated messages that were essentially claiming content of the video. All right. At that time, I didn't realize, I might have said out loud that it was an automated message, but I didn't really realize that literally what they were doing is they were taking any component of the original video on their channel. And if they identify any content whatsoever on the video that a commentator created, they were claiming that video. For folks that do not know, if you copyright claim, one of the options, which is the option that they opted for, is that we will take the revenue from this video at the point that it is claimed. Okay. Now, without more information into the reason that they were doing this, pretty much my stance at that time was I'm just going to leave their content alone. I thought that the commentator to original content creator relationship was one of a symbiotic relationship. The original content creators would benefit from having essentially a free marketing department to continue to keep their videos high within the algorithm, because that's how the algorithm works. The more people, the more channels rather, that are talking about a particular piece of content, the more that content will surface. And good faith actors would continue on linking the original video so that people could go to the original source of the content. Now, it would also benefit the commentators because the commentators would make essentially revenue off of it. Also, at the same time, they can push whatever movement or messages or whatever goals that they had with the platform by utilizing the content in a transformative manner. Okay, therein lies fair use. Now, what has happened since then? Okay, because I left that video very professional in nature, just saying that I'm just going to just leave it alone. My content on this platform has been around 5+ years before their channel was even a thing. And it's going to be around even after this copyright claim thing, because I've diversified my content so much over the past 5 years that I'll continue to grow. I'll continue to thrive. Nevertheless, they were silent in regards to why they did this, which I found odd because they definitely know that there's commentators reacting to their content. How is it that I know that? Because the actual contestants will come down into my live chats to have a conversation with me, to clarify something. And if the contestants know that the content is there, then they absolutely know that the commentators are there as well. So they were quiet, which I found odd, a bit at least disrespectful, so to speak, because why would you not at least let us know before this was the decision, especially if there was content of the show producers over there thanking content creators for reacting, right? To continue to get their content pushed within the algorithm, all right? Now, they went quiet. I did my thing. What has happened since then? Let me put this up on the screen. Now, as we go over these things, just do understand that I'm now working with an Apple product and a new streaming software. So if I make some mistakes, guys, you know what it is. All right. Nevertheless, this was recently, I guess as of 4 hours ago, posted on their community chat post on YouTube. Okay. In it, it writes, as of recently, a reactor channel ran our video through their content ID system, and we got hit with a copyright claim on our own video. I'm going to explain this in a quick second so you guys understand what this means. Producing this content takes a lot of work as well as organization. As you can imagine, this was a major setback and a huge issue to sort out. So what does this mean? The copyright claim content ID system is such that you upload a piece of content to your channel, YouTube automatically checks if this content is available anywhere else. And if so, you have the option to do that copyright claim. It seems as though somebody uploaded some of their content, claimed the content ID, and then actually claimed it off of the original content creator's channel, which is super odd to me, which means that there was probably a portion of time that they were not receiving revenue for their original content. Now, this was a reminder of how important it is to protect our work. Okay, where y'all going with this? So here's what we are doing next. They've already partnered with Future Limited, but it says right here, we've partnered with Future Limited to manage our content and monetization on our channels. We're launching a revenue sharing program for reactors. Now, my immediate reaction off of this is damage control. I think that they underestimated the love that the commentators get in regards to reacting to their content. And there's a bit of damage control within there, and they're introducing this revenue sharing program for commentators to share in the revenue. Now, I am not bringing you here today because I think that there is an inherent issue within that. Now, copyright lawyers will tell you, well, if it's fair use, why are you sharing revenue? That doesn't make sense. While there's another portion of the internet that is essentially saying, well, revenue share, right? They do a lot of work on the content. Revenue sharing should be fair, right? Now, just as I said a second ago, I'm not here to talk about that. That is not really what I am disappointed with. But let's keep going on and reading what they have. I'll explain a little bit more. If you create reaction content and want to stay in the loop and earn from it, apply through the link in the description box of our latest upload. If selected, all right. So at this point I said, oh, there's a selection criteria. Very interesting. You'll get a response via email. All right. We look forward to reviewing your submission. So immediately I went to episode 56. I opened up the form and I was very surprised to say the least. Let's open that up. Thank you for your interest in joining our official revenue sharing program for content creators and reactors. To be considered, please complete the form in full. The program offers a 60-40 revenue split in favor of the reactor. But please note, participation is subject to approval at our sole discretion. You will be required to acknowledge and adhere to the content usage guidelines outlined below. Content usage guidelines, you say? I wonder what's that. If selected, you'll get a response by email. We look forward to reviewing your submission. Reactors must adhere to the following terms to qualify for revenue sharing. Violations result in cancellation of participation in the revenue sharing program. Let's get active on this one. Contestant protection clause. Reactors may only comment on behavior presented on the show. They may not encourage or personally participate in harassment campaigns, including All right. Visiting contestants' social profiles to attack or insult them, doxing or exposing off-show personal details. Now, when I read this, I said to myself, are they talking about me? Because I go on the Instagram profiles in order to cross-reference the things that they are saying to the contestants versus the lifestyle that they live. That, by the way, is not doxing, nor is it exposing off-show personal details, because it's not personal. It's public. Is it off-show? No, because you drop their Instagram profile directly in the description box, and you also put it directly in the show itself. So why would the IG be considered off-show if they put it right there on the screen? Then I thought to myself, maybe they're not talking about me. Maybe there's something else that's going on behind scenes. Then I reread this one, visiting contestants' social profiles to attack or insult them. And when I read this one, I said to myself, oh no, they're utilizing things such as attack or insult. That is such a broad sweeping term. So what does it mean by attack exactly? If I hear a young lady say that she's God-fearing, and then I go up on her social media profile and I see that she has her entire ass cheeks out, and then I take my shame bell in order to creatively display how it is that I think that she's full of shh, is that now considered attacking? What is an attack here? What is an insult here? It seems as though they're creating arbitrary systems to be able to govern your free speech. Listen, and I'll say this, when it comes to YouTube, I follow the YouTube community guidelines because the platform is on YouTube. They post content up on YouTube. I post content up on YouTube. So that's the community guidelines that I adhere to create additional community guidelines with broad words in order to say, listen, you can now react to our stuff if you abide by our rules, as long as our rules are not disrespected, and as long as you play nice and market us exactly how you want us to be marketed. That's not the way that fair use works. That's not the way that content commentary works. As an original creator, you have to be expecting to hear things that you may not necessarily agree with, but you determining what is an attack or an insult without YouTube determining what is an attack or an insult limits free speech beyond what I think is necessary. When you look at a person that is significantly overweight to morbidly obese, and I call this out for both the men as well as the women, is that considered an insult to talk about BMI and transitioning that into a conversation about eating less to increase the longevity of your life? Is that now considered an attack or an insult? Or is that addressing some very real issues, especially when you consider the obesity rate in the Black community? In this case, I don't know. I'd love someone to be able to explain it. If a skinny person you say is skinny, is that an insult? I don't know. Anyway, number 2. Respect and non-defamation clause. What? Reactors may critique show content, but not defame or spread misinformation about BM or Arlette as public figures or producers. I'm not sure if there's content creators out there that are defaming, and I would say to BM or Arlette, if there's people out there that are defaming you, making up things regarding you guys, your relationship, then sue them for defamation, right? It's not that let's limit their speech so that they can make revenue off of us. I think that's the wrong direction. The Pop the Balloon brand as it relates to BM and Arlette Amuli, accusations or narrative twisting that harms reputation. Well, I don't know. If someone has a public OnlyFans account, is it ruining their reputation that you call out that they have a public OnlyFans account, which I would only know of that if it wasn't posted in the YouTube video that shows their public Instagram account with the link tree at the top to their spicy content? I don't know. 3, platform integrity clause. No use of your content to promote hate speech, harassment, or bullying, and this one was my favorite, misogynistic. Notice how they don't call out misandrist, right? Racist or slander. Now, if my content did any of these things, then I would have been gone as a content creator a long time ago. But I really believe, and this is my opinion, these are broad, sweeping words that are going to be utilized to reduce what it is that you do and or can say, i.e. your free speech. In case anyone is unaware, all of these things are against the YouTube guidelines. YouTube would have solved this issue a long time ago should they have found any content creators that do any of these different things, especially with some of the large channels that have been reacting to their content. YouTube sees that stuff. Their partner managers would have seen this stuff and would have addressed it appropriately. I have never received a community guideline strike on my channel for anything that I have ever uploaded, ever. Free speech is such an essential part of YouTube. And I know there's a lot of people in there that don't like YouTube's kind of censorship, and some of the censorship I honestly understand, because from a ad perspective, it goes against where advertisers would want to spend the lion's share of their money. So I understand it from a business decision making perspective. But again, we started this conversation not from a conversation of what Arlette and BM is doing to all of these people's channels is fair, because I don't even think that they understand what fair use is. At this point, and I think a component of my disappointment is that this entire rev share intake form signals how they feel about the commentary community. You see what I'm saying? It signals what they talk about behind scenes from those that market their content, that helps them get propagated within the algorithm. This is what they think about you. That's why I think that the copyright claim was a blindside to the content creators, in it being that they didn't want to contact anyone first. They just wanted this management company to enact sanctions, for lack of a better term, without having conversations, without reaching out. Now, let's get into the last one right here. And listen, I can't disagree with anything in number 4. Reactors must credit the official show and the channel, include the original video link in the description, and include a disclaimer that you are part of the official revenue sharing program, with all the information in there of how it is to submit. I just wish that this could have been more of a conversation, because, you know, although there was an impact, and my goal is to begin to react to other Pop the Balloons on other nights of the week, I've just been busy with other things in my personal life, as well as setting up this entire dope ass studio while continuing to keep the content on the channel flying. I wish they could have done it a little bit more respectfully, and I'm disappointed in that they did not. Again, like I said, my content, I'm going to be fine on my channel, but there's other content creators that was utilizing what it is that they were doing to feed their families, and that opportunity was taken from them. And I think that in order to require them for a certain type of reaction or a certain type of speech and certain type of things that they can and they cannot do, it's just disappointing. I would have been happy to talk or consult with them in ways that would have been value added for both sides of the coin. But, you know, my advice is that I think they're going down a really odd, slippery slope in doing this. And that slippery slope is fair use. And I'm gonna get in a little bit more information in regards to the fair use conversation as well, because as I said, at least from the top commentators that I've seen nothing but fair use. If they're taking an hour's worth of content, transitioning that to 3.5, 4 hours, 4.5 hours worth of content, transforming the content, doing all of these different searches that now they don't want you to do, which goes within the fair use, cutting up the content, putting it on for VODs. I think that is fair use, but now essentially taking those people and saying, wait, but hold on, do it this specific way. And if you can, then you're a good little boy and come in and we're going to share some of this revenue with you. I think that it's opening them up to things that I don't think that they would even want. They can't just determine what constitutes fair use and then block everything else that doesn't adhere to what they want to see out of people. So anyway, I know I wanted to bring up as well, when I talk about fair use, when I talk about copyright, what is it that I'm really referring to? And I think that it's important to go over what happened back in the 2016, 2017, I think it was like 2018 era. There was a large channel out there called H3H3 Productions, and they had a copyright strike copyright claim issue that happened when being challenged by another content creator by the name of, I believe it was Haas, right? So what happened is that H3H3, right? Ela and Ethan Klein took content from this other channel, Haas, and they did like a satirical parody, mockery. And essentially, the Haas channel filed DMCA's copyright strikes on the H3H3, essentially saying, hey, listen, this is my content. You can't do that. Additional information is that H3H3 utilized, I believe it was like 80 to 90% of the original work. So because they did that, the Haas channel said, hey, listen, you used too much of our content. Well, a year later, after hundreds of thousands of dollars of fighting this in copyright court, H3H3 won.
For the quintessential commentary that it exhibits, but that it's a hallmark for fair use. This is a video that won fair use on YouTube.
She said there's no doubt.
No doubt, really.
It's fair use.
She said no doubt.
Right.
So go enjoy it and watch the ads so that we can make money from the property we own. So the third factor is an important one because it talks about the amount used. And everybody involved would say fairly that we did use a lot of the work. But something that we argued and always believed is that the amount that you use has actually no bearing on fair use. The only thing that matters is that you used it for a reason. Without using actual clips, the commentary and critique here would lose the context and utility. Here, the context and quality and importance of the videos of the clips used by the defendants was reasonable to accomplish the transformative purpose of critical commentary. This factor is therefore neutral. A great deal of the plaintiff's work was copied, but such copying was plainly necessary for the commentary and critique. Anyone seeking to enjoy Bold Guy vs. Parkour Girl on its own will have a very different experience watching the Klein video, which responds to and transforms the Haas video from a skit into fodder for caustic moment-by-moment commentary and mockery. Because the Klein video does not offer a substitute for the original, it does not, and indeed cannot, usurp a market that properly belongs to the copyright holder. The fourth factor thus weighs in favor of a determination of fair use. Oh!
Again, it doesn't matter how much of the content that was used. What matters is that was transformative in nature. The lion's share of the content creators that I have seen have created audiences that like to watch the way that they talk about the particular dating show, the dating podcast. If people wanted to watch the original work, they could go there. I could tell you what, someone who don't want to see me could just go to the original content. That's why we link it there in the live streams. But there is a subset of the audience that wants the perspective. They want to hear, how is this impacting them? They want to hear, how is this solution oriented within their lives? They want to hear the jokes. They want to hear the mockery. They want to hear the perspective. They want to hear these things. And if they didn't, they would go to the original work. I'm not going to continue to go over their video. Again, it was back in 2018. I just think that some people need to be reminded or taught what is fair use. Now, I'm gonna leave a link to this down in the description box down below so you can see it, so you can get reaccumulated. And this goes for all of the content creators out there that are just unsure, all right? But based off of this, no, it is not right that an automated system just looks at original piece of content, looks at your commentary, your thoughts on it, and just says, no, this is now ours. It actually doesn't work that way, and there's court cases that demonstrate that. Fair use would need to be determined on a case-by-case basis. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts here today. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment box down below. Truth be told, I don't know where it is that I'm going to go from here. My original plan was just to continue on and just develop all this content. But now that I see their thoughts in regards to it, I'm like, oh. But guys, let me know what you think down in the comment box down below. I can't wait to see your comments in regards to this. And again, shout out to all of the G's that's on the channel, the MTR, and shout out to all the lovely ladies that are on this channel. We have created a community, one of the dopest communities up on this platform for disseminating, taking a look at the state of modern dating culture today, having a perspective on it in an effort, in an attempt to be bigger, better, faster, stronger going into the future. I am so happy to be able to facilitate these conversations to you that have real world impact on your life. Drop me them comments down below. Last but not least, men's self-development community. You guys already know I got to be able to shout that out. All right. Link to it down below if you guys are interested in being a part. Link down, beam up, and I will see you guys soon. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.
She belongs to the street.
Girl, don't hold my hand. You a mattress actress on the OnlyFans. Get your money, girl, but damn, how is that your only plan? What you gonna do when you get too old to strip and dance? Get up out your echo chamber screaming period and yes. You a low down dirty woman if you try to get knocked up by a high value man.